So the next one we're going to talk about is facilitating decision making and returning responsibility. And I personally love this one because it is significantly helpful for helping children regulate their emotions.
Mhm.
So, the previous skills that we taught you, um, tracking, reflecting content, and reflecting feeling, those things are going to help you align with your child and help communicate your understanding of the child. And once you've got that alignment, I'm right here with you, and then you've got the empathic understanding. I'm with you, I understand you. Now you're in a helpful position to help them regulate the way that they're feeling.
Mhm.
So to do these skills, you're going to respond in a way that encourages the child's own ability. So if you're doing a playtime with your child, they might ask you, "What should I play with in here?" And so when I'm in the playroom, I respond, "In here, you get to choose what to do." Um, Another example could be that if a child is asking you, the parent, to do something for them that they're capable of doing for themselves. So, getting a cup of water, putting their shoes on, heating up chicken nuggets,
Mhm.
um, telling them what their homework assignments are for the day. If the child is capable of doing a certain task for themselves, it really does honor their own ability to tell them that's something you can choose to do. Um, and it's not abandoning them. It's not leaving them hanging or out to dry, by refusing to do anything with them or alongside them, but it is reinforcing the autonomy that they have and giving them the ability to acknowledge their own self responsibility and give them a sense that they're very capable in their world. So in play therapy, I'm very careful not to do for children what they can do for themselves. So if they're sitting down and painting, saying, "Oh, I need more paper." Oh, well, you can choose to get more paper. Um, I need more paper. Oh, well, that's something you can do for yourself. So I'm just trying to give that back to them, and then that does, like, though it may be a little bit tense in the moment, or I may feel a little bit worried about how does this come across. What it ultimately does is it frees up the child to feel that really foundational sense of, I have autonomy and I can navigate this room and I can navigate this space and this time for myself. And it's really important to think of things that your child is capable of doing for themselves, and then return responsibility where it's appropriate. So if a child is learning how to read, they may need additional help
Mhm.
compared with a child who's been reading for 3 years. So if a child is learning to read, returning responsibility may look like, this word is something you can read. And for the child that has been reading for 3 years, returning responsibility may be, this page is something you can read. Other examples might include, tying their shoes, getting water for themselves, brushing their own teeth or hair, getting themselves dressed in the morning, and think of examples that might be a good fit for your family at your child's developmental level and their personal ability. So for some kids, um, maybe it's not that they get dressed completely by themselves, but maybe it is, laying out an outfit for them and then letting them get dressed for themselves. And then for some kids, maybe they need you to come in the morning and wake them up. And then for other kids, it is, that they can set an alarm clock, or maybe you set the alarm clock for them, but it's their responsibility to get up when it goes off. But it's thinking about what is within the scope of what your child is capable of, and then leaving them the space to sometimes struggle through to get those things done, but particularly really reminding them that they have agency, they have ownership, and
Mhm.
and even in small ways where you're returning responsibility, you're actually able to support their self-efficacy and support their self-esteem.
Yeah. Something that was coming up for me too as you were talking is I'm aware that there may be some things that a parent isn't logistically able to let their child do right now, even if they were capable. Like one that's just coming up is like pouring milk. Like ordinarily, you may be, you may let your child try it, and then if they spill it, it's okay or it's a learning. But right now, you may not be going to the store as much, or you may not be able to allow the same freedoms that um, you may want to, or just things like that. So it's okay to kind of have in your head what you're okay with them trying and doing, and then what isn't really okay right now, and then setting up opportunities where maybe there's other things that you can return the responsibility on. And so like for instance, like if the child's like, oh, I want to get my own cereal, um, one thing you can do is, oh, I choose to pour the milk in this, but you can choose to pour the cereal, or whatever you're okay with in the context of your family and your relationships is totally up to you. But just finding those things that you are okay with.
Yeah, absolutely. And two, sometimes kids, it's really about them wanting you to be right there with them.
Mhm.
Um, and so, you need to decide what limits are appropriate within your house and for each child that you're working with. Or, well, working with, that's appropriate if you're a play therapist. You're not working with your own kids. Or maybe you are, I don't know. So, oh, brain, it just stopped.
I know where I want to pick up somewhere. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, is it if you're next to them, like doing it together?
Yes. Thank you for that mind meld.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without you. So it's this idea of, if your child is trying to tie their shoe, and really what you sense is going on for them is that they want your help and they want that emotional closeness and they want support, or they really are just feeling defeated and super helpless. Returning responsibility is not like, it doesn't have to be a rigid thing where you're like, "Ugh, if you can do it for yourself, so I am not helping you at all." So you can go and you can sit down right next to them and you can say, "Oh, show me how you would do it." Or, "This is something you can choose to do, but you can choose for me to help." And you can get right by them, and be right there. And more often than not, when I tell a child that I'm there to help, but could they show me how they want me to do it, or could they show me what they think we should do, they just do the whole task for themselves.
Yeah.
And so it's really more about providing that physical proximity to give them that emotional support.
Yeah. And another response, like, you can choose for us to do that together,
Mhm.
and you can choose for me to help you. And then there's still having that self responsibility, but you're also engaged with them too.
Mhm. Yeah, and overall communicating they can do it even when they feel pitiful,
Hmm.
which we all have our moments now, but they can do it.
Yes.